this is Robyn. Welcome to mypinkstamper.com. I have a fun and embossed, I don't know if that's the correct wordage, but I have another card for you using our Dashing Deer bundle, and I'm going to be embossing this card with our silver embossing powder, so it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be using the Big Shot as well as our heat tool and an embossing folder, so it's going to be super fun. I'm going to go ahead and jump right in. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. You can find all of the items that I've used on today's video directly on my shopping page, mypinkstamper.stampinup.net, and I will have the item code right here along with the item name description just to help you out a little bit. You can also find a full list at the end of today's video as well as in the description box of this video. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get started. Let's see here. We are going to start with our heat embossing. So we're going to do some heat embossing as well as some dry embossing on this card. So we're going to be using a piece of our Night of Navy cardstock, and this is just a quarter sheet. It's just kind of a scratch piece that I'm using here. And I am going to be using our embossing buddy, just carefully sliding it along there. And then I am going to be using our Versamark pad, which is perfect for heat embossing, along with some of our silver embossing powder. Now what I've done is I just have a little Tupperware container here that I got at the dollar store, and I like to have a lot of the embossing powder, so I usually have like 2 or 3 jars in here because I do a lot of heat embossing. It's one of my most favorite techniques to do in the stamping world. Okay, so I have these all ready to go, and I'm going to grab the sentiment that says, remembering you this season with warm thoughts and a wish for everything merry. So let's grab that, remembering you. And this is the Dashing Deer stamp set that coordinates with the, I believe it's detailed deer, but I'll have it on the screen. This you can purchase right now in a bundle up until December 31st, I believe, is the last day to get this in a bundle for 10% off. It's available right now in our current holiday catalog. All new customers get a free set of catalogs directly from me as a gift for purchasing from my online shop or signing up for one of my online classes. All right, so I'm just going to put this on here. This is one of our red rubber unmounted stamps. Okay, and I have that on there. And now I'm going to go ahead and open my Versamark, get my powder ready. I like having the smaller stamps that I'm going to be embossed. Just you put it right over your container and you don't have to have a background paper. It's just really super easy. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp this kind of in the middle-ish because we're going to be using a framelit around it. So I'm just going to do that on there and tap it really good so I have it ready to go and I can put everything away. I like to put away as I'm, well, sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes I get in my fury of creativity and it's just a hot mess everywhere. Okay, now I'm using our heat tool right here, and I'm using the second setting, which is for heat embossing. It makes it hot enough to melt the embossing powder. Now I get the question a lot, can I just use my hair dryer? Well, that's a great idea, but a hair dryer does not work when you're using the embossing powder. It doesn't get hot enough and it just blows it everywhere. Some of you might have tried that before. Okay, so now I have my beautiful embossed, and that's all we're using the heat emboss for. You can just kind of wipe off if you have any of the embossing buddy on there. Set that aside. Now we'll go ahead and use our Big Shot. This is the Stampin' Up! Big Shot, and I am going to be using this Night of Navy cardstock right here. I'm going to put it right here. Now I'm using the THINLITS and framelits from Stitched Labels, which is an absolute must-have. It coordinates with our Stitched All Around stamp set, but it works wonderful on its own. So if you're not interested in that stamp set, this is a great Thinlit set to have. So I'm going to grab this frame right here, And that's going to go around here. So I'm going to just set this here for just a second. We're also going to be using some of our white glimmer paper, and I'll have the name of it on the screen. It used to be called Dazzling Diamonds. I can't remember what it's called right now, honestly, but I'll have it on the screen for you. I can't remember everything, right? So I have that right there, and I'm using one of the deer, because deers, there's no deers, right? It's just deer. There's a deer and there's a bunch of deer. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know why there's not an S. In my perfect world, there'd be an S on that. You know, just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm going to put that deer directly on my glimmer paper, and I'm going to have this right here. So I can just grab my cutting pad and just roll this through. Do it at the same time. Now I'm going to go back on this one just because this one's a little bit more intricate, and I just like to give it a little bit more of a swoosh in there. Okay, now I'm switching my platforms out because I'm going to be using our an embossing folder. Okay, let me just punch this out really quick. Ta-da! I'm going to pop that out. I'll show you how to do it. You can use our brush, or you can just use one of our piercing tools to poke those out. So we'll do that in just a second. I'll set that aside. And here's my beautiful deer. My dear. And I might have put that through again. I should have, because it's a little bit thicker. There's my deer. I'm going to set that aside. Okay. Now I'm going to use this embossing folder that's available in our holiday catalog. I'll have the name as well as the item code on the screen because, of course, it slipped my mind right when I press record on my video camera. And I'm using a piece of our silver foil sheet. This is cut at 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And I'm just going to put this right in here. Close it. If you've never embossed, dry embossed with one of our embossing folders, you should definitely give it a try. It is so, what is the word? I don't want to say therapeutic, but it is so gratifying, that's the word, to make your own textured paper. So this was using our foil sheet, so it's a little more extravagant. Look at that. It's like, bam, in your face. Wow, bam, that's so cool. I made that. Well, it's super easy to do. Anyone can do it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and finish this up. Now I have a piece of our Whisper White cardstock right here. Because I'm using a darker color cardstock for my card base, I wanted to put a piece of our Whisper White in the center, so when I'm writing a message to somebody, I don't have to write with our white pen. I can go ahead and use a regular ballpoint pen. So I have grabbed my Night of Navy ink pad, and I'm going to pull one of the deer out. I'm going to pull this cute deer right here. That's kind of like, hey, what you guys doing? Hey, what's going on over there? Hey, everybody. Hey, everyone, look at me. All right. I have a commentary on all of my animal stamps. So this one, it's looking this way. So I'm gonna have this deer right here. And so when you open it, it coordinates. Isn't that just brilliant and super easy? Anyone can do that. So now we will go ahead and let's fold our piece of Night of Navy cardstock. This is cut at 5.5 by 8.5 inches. So it is one of our 8.5 by 11, just cut in half. Super easy. You can make 2 cards from every sheet. So if you get one whole pack of 24, you can make 48 card bases with 1 pack of our cardstock, which is good to know when you're making Christmas cards, because this is the time to start those. Although I probably don't even start mine until November, so good for you guys. Good on you. Good on you guys if you start early, because I think that is very amazing. It's always my goal to start early. But this year, my daughter is getting married December 29th, so I almost have forgotten about Christmas. I'm just doing wedding stuff right now, so we will see when I get to my Christmas cards. So I just added that in here with our SNAIL adhesive. I use that on the back of the cardstock. And now I'm going to go ahead and take the SNAIL adhesive again, and I'm going to do it on all 4 sides along with a little bit in the middle. That helps it stay down since it is dry embossed, and it gets a little wiggly, and you kind of want to say, stay in place. So that really helps it when you put it on all four sides. So I've got this down here. And now let's go ahead and take one of our paper piercing tools, paper piercer, and I'm just going to poke out all of the little parts that haven't come out yet. This is an intricate die. It's one of my favorite dies, actually. I love this. And I would use this in more classes, but my assistant would kill me because she helps me with some of my big shot work. And this would be a long assignment to do, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so I have that all taken care of. And now on my deer, I do have a couple little spots on the antlers that I need to poke out. Poke out. Come on. Oh, I could do it with my finger, but not with the pokey thing. All right. So did you guys have a fall this year? It's so weird. The weather is so crazy. It went from like fires and hot and heat, no water, and then we had like a rainstorm, and now it's like freezing outside. And I have to play tennis outside tomorrow in it. I am not looking forward to that. It's going to be so cold. All right. Enough of Robyn chatter for a minute. So we're going to take a little bit of adhesive, and I'm just going to put it on the body side. Try not to get it on my craft mat. And I'm going to have it, I don't want this upside down. That would not be a good idea. I'm going to have it right here. So it's on my sentiment, on my label. I'm going to turn this over, and I have right here some of our Stampin' dimensionals. I absolutely love these. I cannot share that enough, how essential Stampin' dimensionals are to your crafting world. I literally use them on my scrapbook pages, my bags, my tags, anything you can imagine I use these on because it lifts it up. And I really like that. I also like our little mini dimensionals. Let me grab some. I have my baby dimensionals. These are great when you have a smaller area that you want to pop up and use a dimensional on, but you don't want to cut your dimensional in half. We have now carried the baby dimensionals. They're called minis, but I really think we should have called them baby dimensionals. And we can say they're the cutest little babies ever. All right, so now I'm going to finish this up by just putting this right here. So now you have a very elegant Christmas card for your family and friends that is sure to wow them, and you did it yourself. And guess what? Anybody can make one of these cards. So I hope you enjoyed my video tutorial today. Thanks for stopping by. You can find more projects, tutorials, videos, etc. directly on my blog, mypinkstamper.com. If you liked what you saw today, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.